We're live. I think we're live. Yeah, we are. All right, what's going on? I'm Rob. I do a live stream. News commentary. I call it newsmentary. Get with the program, folks. YouTube, step up to the plate and make that a genre, please. Soulless, what is up? So hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I say hit the notification bell because I give you my word that I go live 5 days a week. This being Wednesday, one of the 5. Even even beyond when America steps up to the plate and fucking does the 3-day work week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and everybody has Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and Monday, sorry. And we got UBI happening, so people ain't struggling. I know too many people working 2-3 jobs, sick of it. And they ain't working them to save up and go on vacation, I'll tell you that much. So anyways, I'm Rob. This is a news commentary live stream. I do it 5 days a week. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can join me just like Curtis and Soulless, dude. Yip. Skibbity. Oh, what's up, JM? Oh, Skibbity. We're going to talk about Tom Holland being... Oh, what's up, Wonder? He's sober yet? What? Exactly, Wonder. Cheers to you. Tom Holland, I didn't know he was sober, but that's amazing. Congrats on your 2-year chip, Tom Holland. And I like that he's out in the public with it. I like that it's a thing he's proud of. There's a lot to commend here, especially when you look at the other areas of the news and the debauchery happening. In fact, I linked I like how you're wearing the beanie. It's not a beanie, it's a head wrap. It just keeps my hair up. Do some research. Yeah, look up Abby Hoffman. Abby Hoffman, an amazing person. Oh, and today, you know what? We also got to do like a this day in history once in a while when it's worthy enough. Monday was Indigenous Peoples Day. Big salute. But today marks, I don't know how many years. How many years has it been since 1859? 100... 141, 161, 165. I think it's 165 years since my cousin, Mr. John, the Captain John Brown, launched his raid on Harper's Ferry in 1859. Now, if you don't know who John Brown is, it's not your problem, or it is your problem. It's not your fault. That is the fault of the American school system. They don't teach about John Brown because he went to war with slavery in America. He wrote his own constitution, including women, children, people of color. He was more than a revolutionary, more than a Renaissance man. In fact, he said he is now convinced that this country will not be able to reconcile itself without shedding blood. He predicted the Civil War, and his raid on Harper's Ferry is what sparked the Civil War. Harper's Ferry was an artillery ammo spot out in now West Virginia. At the time it was Virginia, and he raided it hoping to hive the bees and arm all of the slaves that were going to run away to Harper's Ferry, and they were going to launch an attack against America to end slavery. And that was back in 1859, and that is my cousin. So, yeah, we're going to talk about Spider-Man. Wonder's like, yo, shut the fuck up and talk about Spider-Man. But that's a very important thing. Today, 165 years ago, my cousin John Brown launched that raid. All right, let's get into Tom Holland. Mr. Tom Holland, sober. Now, a lot of people, when they go through the program, just so you know, I've been in the I didn't graduate the program. I don't know. I'm sober, but I don't consistently do the program, which people have let me know that's not good, but I'm still sober. But I really support the program, and I love the program, and it helps people, and it gets people clean. I didn't know Tom Holland, Mr. Spider-Man himself, was sober for 2 years, which I think is amazing. Didn't even know he was a drunk. Well, listen, when you got that Spider-Man dough and you're that young, you know, he's from bar to bar. That guy's spider swinging. From bar to bar. That guy's all over the place. You kidding me? That's a disaster for a young man without good role models. For real. It's a disaster. He probably, just imbibed a little too much. And I don't know his story. In fact, now I'm kind of interested and I'd like to know more of it. But what he did share and link down below is that this is where I'm not going to be fair in my critique with him. I'm going to be very biased as somebody who is sober and somebody who is familiar with the program. So I can't give him a fair shake on this one because he's wrong. He's wrong in doing this. I think this is the capitalism in him. He needs to be sober from capitalism. These celebrities need to take a break from like fucking getting famous and then being like, I'm putting out a spirit. I'm putting out a non-alcoholic beer. But Tom Holland says, you know, within being sober for 2 years, in my 2 years of sobriety, I wanted to create a non-alcoholic beer for people who also live the lifestyle like me. And I thought, bro, when you get sober, just so you know, if you're young, old, or never been through addiction, my whole family has addiction, so I'm well versed in this. When you sober up, they're not having you leave a meeting or come out of rehab and they're like, hey, listen, one day at a time, but you can drink non-alcoholic beer. You need to stay away from that shit. You shouldn't be going to bars. You shouldn't be living that lifestyle, which I don't know what lifestyle. Is Tom Holland climbing mountains and hiking with non-alcoholic beer and cracking them like a Gatorade? Like, I wanted to really ask him. It just seemed like a generic shill for money. I don't know what Tom Holland's situation is. I would hope he's flush with cash. The dude rolling with 10 grand in his pocket everywhere, cash money. But it seems like he was hard up the way he was pitching this non-alcoholic beer called Beero, B-E-R-O. Would have been cool to see him drunk in the Spider-Man suit. Oh my God, that's probably the video that's being suppressed right now. Just like P. Diddy's videos got leaked from those hotels. They're probably, Tom Holland's team is hard at work keeping Spider-Man, drunk Spider-Man suppressed from the public. Holy shit, TMZ is going to leak that one. That is hilarious, Wonder. Thank you. And this is why I love when people subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join in the chat, because that is so funny. That's the stuff that I miss when you get to rap with a few people. But, you know, it's like quitting coke and be like, I made a keep you up for days coke. I made this powder that you could, that's like quitting coke and being like, I just snort Adderall now. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Saying like, yo, for people who want to enjoy the lifestyle. Goddamn, Wonder, you on fire today right now. But it's true. You know, and ask anybody. If you know anybody who's sober or been clean or getting clean, they'll tell you firsthand, like, yo, they're not promoting like, hey, we know you love beer so much, so just drink non-alcoholic beer. In fact, I could never understand who non-alcoholic beer was for. You see it at the grocery stores and stuff. You see it being sold, and I'm like, who the fuck is drinking this? Like little 10-year-old European kids that are like, oh, Jacques Le Beau, fucking American laws, I cannot drink right now and I'm shaking. It's like, who is drinking non-alcoholic beer for real? And the fact that Tom Holland says, like, people who are living my lifestyle, like, bro, if you're living the sober lifestyle, trust me, you're not going to tiki bars like he mentions in the article down below. He's like, and it's great. A lot of tiki bars are serving non-alcoholic drinks. It's like, bro, that's not happening. If you're still going out to bars and trying to stay sober, let me tell you something. You're doing it wrong. Now, not all of us are Tom Holland and can afford a team of people around us. Yeah, I'm sober too, been clean only for 2 months and not coming nowhere near non-alcoholic beer. It's worse than teasing yourself. It's like, and that's the other thing. I think, or at least back in the day when I knew my buddy was drinking non-alcoholic beer, but he wasn't trying to get clean. I think he was just drinking it because like he had to drive and he would be at a party. But I still think it has like 0.00 something percent. Maybe his is like totally. But yeah, man, if you're like, I'm clean and sober, I wouldn't touch a fucking alcoholic beer. And Tom's like, oh, if you just like the taste of it. It's like, bro, nobody likes the taste of it. All those fucking highfalutin wax handlebar mustache people that are like, I like the hoppy fruitness. Fuck you. No, you don't. No, you don't. No one does. You drink beer because it gets you drunk, okay? Let's be straight and honest here. Nobody's drinking it for the legs. Nobody's swirling beer in a glass because the legs on it. This is a full-bodied ale. Bullshit, man. And I don't mean to cuss, but it's just so dumb. Alcohol always tastes good the more drunk you get. Exactly. It's not like people are like on their third beer and they're like, this is, the legs on this beer are amazing, man. I'm just gonna have another fruity hop. Ain't happening. Your taste buds go out the window. That's why you ever notice like people at the end of the night, they're eating anything. They're like, let's get Taco Bell and put it on top of Burger King. And they're like, that's awesome. It's not because you have a better established palate. Jesus. So the whole thing, that's why I really, nobody likes how it tastes. It's only give you a feel. Exactly. People are drinking it for the taste. Just for the taste of it is Diet Coke, okay? Beer is less filling, tastes great. That means less filling so you could drink more and then everything tastes fucking great. Okay? There's the two mottos. But seriously, this whole article, I encourage you to read it for yourself. I put it down below, but the whole article, it just seems suspect. It smells of like just reeking greed and capitalism. Like I just want to shill something. And the worst part is like I really, when I read the article and you're like, damn, Tom Holland's sober for 2 years, you're like, that's awesome. And then you read he's trying to push a non-alcoholic beer to other sober people. You're like, bro, you're destroying people. Like just come out and just be like, I'm sober for 2 years and it's really hard to be in that scene. So like, I don't know, a seltzer water or something. Like, bro, do that. You know, do something healthy. Not like, I can't understand that. Are people real? Like, what's the commercial for this non-alcoholic beer? Do you want to have the calories but not the buzz? Like, what is the? I don't get it. I just can't. Can anybody wrap their mind around this? Anybody, please let me know in the comments below, like the YouTubers say. But I can't wrap my mind around it. Are people like, listen, are you tired of getting DUIs? Do you still need those calories, but you just don't want the heavy buzz? Well, here's a non-alcoholic beer for you. Like, what is the pitch on this, Tommy? Old Tommy boy. Because what you're saying in the article down below is like, tiki bars have great non-alcoholic sections, but if you're trying to get sober, you're staying sober because you don't just get sober and then that's it. You're constant. That's why it's one day at a time, because you're working at it every moment of the day. It's a war. It's a battle of attrition. You are fighting to stay sober and clean, and putting yourself in those situations. Anyone, I mean, I don't know if Tommy has a sponsor, but old Mr. Spider-Man himself, I mean, Mr. Strange should probably, you know, step in and guide this boy and say, you're leading people down a dangerous path thinking that they can go out and order your non-alcoholic beer and just live that sober life. Here's the commercial cut scene. Tom Holland partying, having the time of his life with a bunch of people around him. Then he drives home, gets a DUI. Next scene, he's at the same party, but maybe he could get Justin Timberlake, who just got a DUI, to do the commercials for him. I got a feeling in my bones. And it goes 20 to life if I get another DUI. Holy schnokes. He's drinking non-alcoholic beer, winks at the camera and says non-alcoholic. And then he still gets pulled over in a DUI because there's a zero tolerance policy and it has 0.002% in it. Last scene, Tom Holland in jail. Cut to another commercial where he's doing bail bonds as Spider-Man. I can't joke about that because when I was on radio, I used to do bail bonds commercials too. Leave it to the one guy who was going to jail while working radio to do the bail bonds commercials. But yeah, this is, I don't know, this is beyond me. I need help wrapping my mind around it. Oh, by the way, big shout out to my friend AB, who watched yesterday's live stream and pointed out that Marshala Ali, in that Taste the Revolution movie that got silenced after 9/11, she pointed out like, yo, he's Muslim. And I was like, oh yeah, Ali, that's a Muslim last name. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even put that together. I felt like a dummy. But she pointed that out and she's like, that's why the movie got silenced, because they don't want to have a Muslim leading a revolutionary movie after 9/11. I forget about how dangerous and how on edge America was after 9/11. And I shouldn't. I was living in Hawaii and when I flew to Hawaii, my parents walked me to the gate. I have a picture of them at the gate when I'm getting on the plane. Coming back, there was heavy artillery, machine guns, dogs, it was like a war zone getting into a plane. It was insane. So big shout out to my friend AB. If you watch this later, AB, big salute to you. Thank you. Thank you. And come back on the live. Let me know when you're going to come back on. It's kind of like how The Rock and Oprah were asking for donations for the islands because of the fires. Elma. Like, yo, they're millionaires. Well, that's the funniest part. I remember that when the Maui fires happened and they made a stupid fucking Instagram video. And they were like, we started a donation of $5 million. Now we need you poors to kick in. And it's like, bitch, Oprah, you own 2,000 acres on Maui. Just give some acres to the people. That's what bums me out the most. Like, if I hit a big lottery, I'm buying as many houses. I already told my wife this too. Like, this is how serious I am about it. I hit a big lottery, I'm buying houses in a town in Hawaii. I used to live there. I lived there when I was little. I went to college there. I got family that are Hawaiians. So I really respect, I would never move there. In fact, they were like, you would have moved to Hawaii. I'm like, no, man, that land is for them. That's a sacred land for them. But what I would do is buy many houses and give it to the locals, the natives. There's natives who have been on lists for decades to get housing and land that they have rights to. And Mark Zuckerberg bought a lot of that up, and Oprah, and these fucking people just swooped in and took these people's sacred homeland. It drives me nuts. So I got to get a lottery ticket. What's up, G-Ma? We're talking about Tom Holland. They want to help, and I'm only putting 5% down. Well, here's the funny part, Wonder. If you go look up what Oprah's worth and then $5 million compared to that, if I threw in $1, because I got like $30 in my account right now, my $1 would be 1/30th, so like 33% of what I am worth. And her $5 million, which she split with The Rock, so $2.5 million, is probably 0.00002% of her worth. And that's why I was saying, like, bitch, Oprah, let them have some of your land. Like, donate your land to them. Deed it to the natives that lost their land, the people who've lived there their whole life. Give them their land back. I know Oprah doesn't need 2,000 acres on Maui. That's insane. I'm glitching. I'll never be able to forgive her for that. That is, you just don't do it. You don't do it. I would do that too, Rob, but the people that can make me king. Yeah. That's so funny. I was I was looking up home prices in certain towns where I used to live and stuff that used to be heavily local, and now that all the homes are like $1 million. I was like, man, I just hope I could hit the lottery big enough where I could buy enough homes in a town where you could give it to the locals, where they could run their local government again and somehow use the legislative branch to get their land back from these people who've just priced them out of living. Remember, it's an island, so once they shoot all those prices up, like, people are, and again, this was like 2001, before 9/11. Like, I just remember seeing so many locals living on the beaches, like in homeless encampments, and it broke my heart. And I was working for a local radio station out there too, which it was other local Hawaiians that were like taking me around into neighborhoods where white people just couldn't go. You know what I mean? And when you get to see that firsthand, you realize, like, man, it's not right. So, but Tom Holland, let's get back to Tom Holland, because I don't understand why he would create an alcoholic beer unless, like Oprah and The Rock, he just wants to make some money on it. He just wants people to pay him to think like, I'm Spider-Man sober. That's what we're going to call it. Put a toothpick in it. We're going to call drinking non-alcoholic beer still at the bar while claiming 2 years of sobriety is being Spider-Man sober. Because you're about to swing your ass back into full-blown addiction. That's a dangerous road to hoe. And I hope Mr. Strange, what's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch? I hope Mr. Strange pulls Spider-Man aside in the next Avengers meeting. Or Tony Stark. Or is he Dr. Doom now? Whatever. You know, I hope one of those mentors, Mark Ruffalo, old Ruffalo Chips, I hope one of them pulls him aside and say, hey, kid. That's where I was lucky. I had a few decent people to pull me aside and say, hey, kid, you're a dummy. You're a knucklehead. Don't do it. And that's what he should do, because anybody seeing him being sober and influenced by that and then going out and drinking non-alcoholic beer, dangerous road to hoe. His management team was like, yo, we need to capitalize on this sobriety. Make some money. And that's what it feels like. That's genuinely. If you read the article I posted down below, I posted some other news that I don't actually want to get into. There's some gnarly stuff with Diddy and Macy's even helping to cover up Diddy's dirt. I mean, this is how entrenched this stuff gets. And like, you don't know how big the big names are And when it's like corporations like Macy's accused of covering up Diddy's dirty work, whew. And then there's something about Trump saying you don't put old people in top federal positions, which he didn't say that. He was talking about he doesn't put old people at the Supreme Court, which is top federal position, but he was saying, I don't put old people in, I put young people in so they stay a long time. But it's funny, him saying it being 78 years old, the oldest candidate ever to run for president. It's like, people, listen to what he's saying. Don't put old people in top federal positions. That dude's ancient, and he looks roughed up, man. He just looks old. Geriatric. That dude just, he looks like, you know, presidency ages people, so you got to give him that wide berth. But dude looks with that lizard skin orange makeup. I don't know. What if he never was an alcoholic? Because I see videos of him drinking or wilding out or hearing stories. Maybe just making it up. Wonder, I don't put it past. Maybe they're like, he's such a good, clean-cut kid. Let's say he's sober. And not only is he sober, but he's coming out with a non-alcoholic beer. I wouldn't put it past it. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't, because I'd never heard that. I was presidency also turns people orange. Apparently it does. But yeah, I wouldn't put it. That's why I was so surprised, and I was happy. Well, that's the other weird thing. You'd be surprised at how many people in Hollywood are actually sober, because you don't talk about it normally. Like if you're going to meetings and stuff, that's one of the laws. Like one of the rules of Sobriety Fight Club is you don't talk about Sobriety Fight Club, which I always thought was stupid. That's one of the things I disagree with. I think you gotta talk about it. My whole time in radio, when I got sober, I talked about it. You want people to understand that there's hope, there's light, you can do it, that you're living proof of it happening, and keeping quiet just seems stupid. You know, more people need to be inspired by people that are sober and getting sober or have been sober than the opposite. But I also get it too, because sobriety is a work in progress and you're always working at it. It's a battle of attrition. Again, you have to win that war every single moment of the day. So I get why you don't talk about it, but you know, I don't know. So Wonder, I like your put a toothpick in it. Let's hold on to that conspiracy theory that this Spider-Man sobriety thing might not be real. I hope it is, and I hope he's talking about it, and I hope he's not pitching this non-alcoholic beer on some tour for his next movie. You know, that's when you really call things into suspect. But all right, guys, I really wanted to bring that up. And again, if anybody watches this later and can understand why you would drink non-alcoholic beer in sobriety, please let me know, because I think there's a consensus among us here live that is a very, very dangerous. Be careful of the seeds you're sowing. You know, you don't want to be in that scene. 1 year, 2 years in, 3, 4, 5. I mean, just dangerous. Just dangerous. I don't know. And if you're in that scene, like if you're still going to tiki bars because you're like driving people now, you want to make sure people are safe, get a spritzer, man. Get a tonic water. You know, get a root beer float. Jesus. Get a birch beer, non-alcoholic beer. That's amazing. My favorite. Birch beer. I think they don't sell that outside of New England though. But you know, don't do the non-alcoholic thing. Too dangerous. All right. Everybody who's in the struggle, God bless you. Keep fighting. You can do it. I believe anybody can get sober. You just got to want it. Slippery slope. Way too slippery. Very slippery. Spider-Man slippery. That little slippery. Okay, guys. Gma, good to see you. Solus. Wonder. Anybody else that stopped by, and my friend AB who was watching the live yesterday, if you stopped by later, thank you. All right, guys. Peace, love, respect.